Makoko. Oh, Makoko. Oh.
Incoming message.
Oh no. No, 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 Makoko. What have you done? For sake.
Sometimes you're a fire, sometimes you're a ghost. Sometimes you can give me all the things that I love the most. Sometimes you're a queen, sometimes you're a curse, and sometimes a whole lot worse. Yeah, nobody's quite like you.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Blue Hell Worldwide here on Shaun Does FM, and today in episode number 27 we play both of the Santos teams in our league, Santos itself and Santos Laguna, to try and see if we can keep ourselves in the mix for potentially winning the title in our first season here in Super League 1. So if you're looking forward to that, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and enjoy the FM content here on the channel, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. It is greatly appreciated. But we start today's episode, as you were seeing from the intro, with a little bit of bad news. We bought Yusuf Makoko here, one, because he's a very good striker and we needed a striker, and two, because his contract was expiring at the end of the season, and we thought with him getting a loan here, and if he enjoyed his time here, we might be able to keep him if that contract was not renewed. But unfortunately, he has decided to extend his stay with Dortmund by 2 years, so we're not going to be able to sign him full time at the end of the season. But I suppose at least now he's at the same club, so they might still want to loan him out next season, so we could get him back again. That's now going to be the goal, because he's been just so good for us and what he's done already here this season. He's got another month or so left, and hopefully he can keep his good form going along with the team. But a bit of sad news there. We're not going to be able to sign Yusuf Makoko full time, but hopefully with him staying at Dortmund, we can get him back on loan for all of next season. That might be exactly what we need to try and propel ourselves into the Premier League. But we have played no league games since the end of yesterday's episode, which if you missed, I will leave a link to above my head in the top right corner, an episode which we also had our youth intake in just the one friendly, a big gap in between games thanks to a decent sized international break between the draw against Santos Laguna and this first game of today's episode against Santos. Just a reminder of where the league table puts us in heading into today's episode. 10 points behind Flamengo and Palmeiras on top of the table, but we do have 2 games in hand on both of those teams. So if we can win those, we'd only be 4 points behind them with 5 games left to go. It's still a tough task to try and overcome that if we win the rest of our games, and that's not probably going to happen, but we can at least try and give ourselves a chance to overhaul them, and that would be a very good season for us, first time in this division, considering for most of the first part of it, or at least the first quarter of it anyway, we were down in that relegation zone, and it was looking like it was going to be a tough old year for us, but we've put that well and truly to bed, and now hopefully we can get up as high as we can. But with no gameplay since the end of yesterday's episode, just the one friendly, nothing to catch you guys up on in that regard. And we've also had all of our players returning from injury. Alan Polito's back, everyone back fit and available for today's episode at the moment. Hopefully that stays true, and we should be able to get some good results with everyone available for us. But we'll come back shortly. First off, it is the toughest game we've got remaining for the rest of the season from here on out, taking on 4th place Santos. If we win this game, we will only go 1 point behind them with a game in hand. So hopefully this is a team that we will surpass in our run-in for the rest of the season. And we'll come back shortly from the Villa Belmiro to see if we can keep this title push alive when we take on Santos. And here are the team sheets for the first game of today's episode. 4th place Santos on the left. No overly familiar names for them there. And in terms of us on the right, currently in 6th, but as I said, we can close that gap with a win against these guys with our games in hand. We are full strength, as strong as we can be. Polito back on the bench. Makoko, of course, keeping his starting position while he is still at the club. And hopefully we can kick this episode off well with a win. 7 minutes gone, and it is an early corner to Santos in the white. We are in the light blue hoops, and Jala is able to clear that, but Norman will tidy things up here for Santos as Makoko goes in there for an interesting tackle, but he ends up being quite well positioned to pinch that off Santos. This would be a great chance, and of course, Yusufa Makoko absolutely buries that. The man is an absolute weapon in front of goal. His 14th goal of the season already, and after 7 minutes, after a fairly iffy slide tackle, he regains himself in a pretty good position. It has to be said, it worked out quite well. 1-on-1 with the keeper and puts that just to the right-hand side of him, and we go 1-0 up after 8 minutes. And down the other end, almost immediately here, a free kick for Santos, and that goes straight through Tim Melia's hands. I thought he's improved quite a bit since the start of the season, but that's another bit of a lapse from him there. And maybe that's an area where we're definitely going to need to improve at the end of the season. That was straight at him, and after they gifted us a goal, more or less, we've gifted them one back there, and after 10 minutes, it's 1-1. 13 minutes gone, and Santos looking to put the hammer down here at home as they have a throw-in, although I thought that Olasunde might just be able to take the ball off them there, but they are in possession against Soteldo. The ball falls to Lucas Braga, and this time Melia makes a great save. So very much rocks and diamonds at the moment from Tim Melia, and after 14 minutes it does remain 1-1 as we have the corner, and it is somewhat on target, but we deal with it, and after quarter of an hour, it's still 1-1. 15 minutes gone here, Santos with a free kick. So after they got that equaliser, which Tim Melia more or less handed to them, they've been all over us as Fontas gets the ball off one of the Santos attackers there and makes his way down the right-hand side. Plays the ball up for Makoko. It will find him. He tries to chip the goalkeeper. It's just over the bar. That could have put us in front. Great chance for Makoko, but still it remains 1-1. 46 minutes gone right before half-time, 2 added minutes, and it's a throw into Santos in a good area of the pitch for them. Sandri to put this in. Melia punches it clear and it falls to Russell, who boots it up to Makoko. Can he get round these men? He tries to. It's a slide tackle there on him, and he's given a penalty that looked like it was a fairly clean tackle there from Sabino on Makoko, but we'll see what VAR has to say. This would be a rather fortunate decision if it was to go in our favour, and it doesn't. I think that's fair enough, and we'll be going into halftime locked up at 1-1, and it has been a pretty even game so far. Both teams more or less gifting the other one a goal, it has to be said, and as you can see stat-wise, we've got the slightly higher XG, but yeah, it's a pretty even game. I think the scoreline deserves to be 1-1, and indeed it is, so hopefully we can just break through and get a winning goal in the second half. 56 minutes gone, we'll go a free kick to start the second half, trying to pick out Vandenberg, but they do head it away there. Do Santos out to Soteldo, and he's off down this left-hand side, and has good support there. He gets past the first slide tackle, just inside the byline, tight angle, forces a save out of Melia. We clear it. Probably should have squared that for a teammate, but they blow that chance somewhat, and still it remains 1-1. Okay, 63 minutes gone here, and we're actually going to make a triple substitution. A few players down to yellow hearts, and not quite performing as well as I think we can in this game. So the players on 6.5 ratings and yellow hearts are going to come off. So Remy Walter will come on for Wintle, who's been a little bit indifferent form-wise recently anyway. So maybe that's going to be a change that we make permanent for the next game. Also changing up both wingers, Luke Bolton to come on for Russell and Daniel Shalloy for Felix Metcher. So we're going to make a triple substitution here. Hopefully it doesn't backfire, but with just under a half hour to go, it does remain 1-1. 70 minutes gone and Santos on the attack here. They have definitely looked the more threatening team throughout most of this game, apart from, of course, the chances that we did gift each other. A couple of shots blocked there, and now it's Norman just outside the box for Renya. His shot again blocked. Jobson Rodriguez has a crack just wide left-hand side of the upright, but they're more or less on top of us here at the moment, as it's still 1-1 with quarter of an hour to go. 78 minutes gone and Santos still dominating this game, it has to be said, as they're on the attack again, although there's a foot in there by, I believe that was Busio, and he plays that for Makoko, who does get the ball now. He's been shepherded out to the left a bit here. Will he try and find a teammate? He has a crack. It's a shot. It falls very kindly to Bolt in the deflection, but his shot is blocked or saved. I wasn't too sure what quite happened there, but good chance for us to get in front with 10 minutes to go, but we somewhat blow it, and we have a corner, but they do deal with it safely, although Walter de Busio blasts that over the bar, and still with 10 minutes to go, it's still 1-1. 88 minutes gone, Santos down in a dangerous area of the field for us again, although Jala is able to intercept that. Makoko flicks the header on, nearly stuffed up his name there, although I'm pretty sure I've done that a few times by now in the last couple of episodes, but they do try and play that forward after that flick on Do Santos. They will keep possession, and now they do get on the attack here through Arthur Gomez down the right-hand side. Tojan puts a ball in. That will be Olasunde dealing with that, and Busio will find Makoko. What's he going to do here? Back to Jala. Luke Bolton, can he slot Makoko through? He might even have a crack himself here. Probably should try and find Makoko. He has a shot. It wasn't that far off, but it was always going to be a difficult chance from that angle. And as we enter injury time, it's 1-1, and they have a late highlight here do Santos. It's 1-1. Hopefully we can keep this out at the very least. And that shot just goes wide from Santos. Might have even come off the post there, but in the end it's a 1-1 draw. Fairly even game stat-wise. Didn't feel like it in the second half because most of the highlights were at least starting in Santos's favour. We had a couple of chances to extend the lead. Makoko with a misfired chip in the first half, and of course Bolton late on there, but I think that's a fair result. A little bit frustrating that we couldn't pull it out the win, but they're a pretty good team, Santos, and hopefully we can make the most of the rest of our games in hand and get above them at some stage throughout the rest of this season. But that's a little bit of a blow to our title hopes, but hopefully we can get back on track, and we'll come back shortly and run you guys through highlights of the game that we've got before the second game of today's episode against Santos Laguna. And we are back for highlights of the game in between the ones in today's episode, and it was against Vasco da Gama, a home game for us at Children's Mercy Park, and we got off to a fairly good start in this one. In the 9th minute, Vandenberg playing out from the back up to Felix Mecha, who slots Yusufa Makoko through, and you pretty much can tell what's going to happen here. Buries it in the bottom left corner. Another goal for the German and puts us 1-0 up early, but unfortunately we conceded an equaliser at the 21-minute mark. A fairly similar goal Reyes played in over the top there from Benitez, and they do make it 1-1 with 25 minutes to go in the first half. But shortly off the back of that, at the 25-minute mark, Mecha back out to Yongo, puts the ball in. This time it's a header from Yusufa Makoko, a nice one too, into the top left corner to make it 2-1. And then we got a penalty at the half-hour mark. Makoko stepped up to complete his hat-trick and did, tucking that into the roof of the net straight down the middle to make it 3-0. Then though, just after we scored that penalty, they made it 3-2. Benitez played over the top this time, buries that in the bottom right corner, and at half-time it was 3-2, so it was a fairly even game still at that point. A goal filled one, but then at the second half, Russell slotting Makoko through again, gets 4 for the game after that one in the 50th minute, and then 8 minutes later we truly wrap things up. It was Doyle Hayes on the edge of the box there, finds Johnny F. and Russell, who somehow allowed a free header at the far post there, and we win that game 5-2. A pretty good performance in the end. A little bit leaky at the back with those 2 goals in the first half, but Yusufa Makoko with his 4 goals propelling us to yet another win. He has been such a good player for us. We're definitely going to have to try and get the number 69 back on loan next season, but a good solid win for us there. An expected win, albeit, but we still need to get the job done, and we did. So what that means going into the second game of today's episode is we have jumped up the Serie A table just a little bit. 1 point behind Santos now with 2 games in hand on them still. Only 1 game in hand on Flamengo and Palmeiras, and they are now 9 points ahead of us, or at least Flamengo are. We really need to be winning the rest of our games, I think, if we've got any chance of lifting the title. The most points that we can get to with 5 game weeks left is 78, and Flamengo only need to win 2 more games to match us there. So we're definitely pushing it, but if we can get a result today against Santos Laguna in our toughest game left for the rest of the season, it could be on with Makoko in such good form. So we'll come back shortly, run you guys through the team sheets. They'll be pretty similar for us anyway, although Elie Sanchez is out with sprained ankle ligament, so Halifa Ngongolo will come into the reserves for him. But hopefully we can get some revenge on Santos Laguna after we drew with these guys at home yesterday, and we'll come back shortly for this rematch from the Estadio Corona. And here are the team sheets for the second game of today's episode. Another away trip for us. Santos Laguna looking fairly similar from what I can remember to yesterday's episode. In terms of us, just the one wholesale change, Remy Walter coming in for Ryan Wintle. His form of late has been a little bit better than Wintle, so we'll make that change in the advanced playmaker role, and otherwise just Ngongolo in for the injured Sanchez on the bench, but more or less the same starting lineup, and hopefully this time we can pick up a win. 11 minutes gone here, and we have a free kick which Fontas will take, although that is straight at Acevedo in goal, and it does remain 0-0 after 11 minutes, although this highlight will continue. Olasunde with the header down, and Johnny Russell will pick things up, makes his way down the right-hand side. An interesting ball there to Makoko with a slide tackle, so that was different. And now we find Mecha, and he's going to put it away. Remy Walter into the first team again and gets an instant assist, and Felix Mecha hits double figures for the season. A player who, to be fair, has been a little bit underrated because of the arrival of Makoko, but before then he was a player who really transformed our season, and he's back in goal scoring touch. Been a little while as he hasn't really been called upon to be doing that with Makoko banging in the goals up front, but he can still take them when he needs to, and we go 1-0 up after 12 minutes. 32 minutes gone, a goal kick to Santos Laguna. They pump it towards Pablo. He wins the header, but Fontas will tidy things up for us. Ball over the top. That will find the goalkeeper just in time. Makoko nearly able to get hold of that, but not quite. His young legs not quite quick enough at that stage to get that ball, but we will get the ball back. Well, we nearly did from that clearance, but we will now after Santos Laguna pump it up towards Vandenberg. Now Russell can try and slot Makoko through here. It's a really poor back pass. Acevedo with the save, but the rebound falls at a kind angle for Yusufa. Makoko now has 19 goals for the season, only played his first game for the club in early February, and we go 2-0 up, and this is looking like a bit of revenge from yesterday's episode. That was a really poor back pass there from a Coily. Acevedo makes a pretty good save, but in the end just parries it to a tighter angle. Good finish in the end from Makoko second time round, and it's 2-0, and now we have a free kick shortly off the back of that, and hopefully we can put this game to bed right here and now as we look like we are all over Santos Laguna at the moment. Good tackle there from Jala Metra up to Makoko. It's a tight angle. What a first time finish from Yusufa Makoko, and surely we're going to get some revenge on these guys for yesterday. Now 3-0 up prior to half-time, only 35 minutes gone, and Makoko continues his great form. 20 goals for the club already in more or less 2 and a bit months. He is just a sensational player in this game. Hope we can bring him back on loan next season, and it's 3-0 with 10 minutes to go in the first half, as now the kickoff is shown here for Santos Laguna. So maybe I was just a little bit too premature there in calling this game over at this stage. If they get one back here, they would be right in it, but hopefully we can still kill this game off as there's still 55 minutes left, but they're knocking the ball about quite nicely just outside the box, and Bruno Nazario with a really good finish there from outside the box into the top left corner. Fair play them. They hurriedly get the ball back to the halfway line. They still have quite a bit of time left to try and get these other 2 goals, but they do strike back, just given a little bit too much space outside the box. Really nice finish. Not much Melia can do there. And with 10 minutes to go in the first half, now it's 3-1 to SKC. And that is halftime. All the highlights that we were shown resulting in goals. Luckily for us, most of those were in our favour. Yusufa Makoko with a double after Felix Mecha opened the scoring, and we go into halftime thanks to that Bruno Nazario strike with 9 minutes to go with a 3-1 lead. Despite that goal, still really happy with how things are going. We will take Johnny Russell off on a 6.5 rating for Luke Bolton, but otherwise I think we'll just tell the boys to try and keep doing what they did in that first half, as it did seem to work pretty well as we go into the second half. 3-1 up. Early highlight in the second half, and Busio is in possession for us. Plays that up to Luke Bolton. Might try and put Makoko through here. In fact, looks like he's going to go himself. Does well to get beyond his man there, but a good save from Acevedo to keep it at 3-1. That goal surely would have put this game beyond doubt that time. We will get shown the corner as Busio's about to put this in. Finds Vandenberg, but his header straight at Acevedo. A good couple of chances early in the second half. Still, it remains 3-1 though. 61 minutes gone. We have a free kick, and hopefully we can keep the pressure on Santos Laguna here and get the momentum back in our favour after they equalise before half-time, although Lopez there with a good tackle, and he plays it out for Munoz. Tight angle here, Oliver Craig. What are you doing, Melia? What's the point of having a goalkeeper if you're not going to use your arms and slide backwards or whatever that was? That's pathetic from Melia, and now I really do think we're going to get a goalkeeper next year, but they're getting the momentum in this game, but yeah, I don't know what Mealy is doing there. He never should score from there. It's poor defence, but really poor goalkeeping. And it is now 3-2. We'll make a couple of substitutions here. We've got both Olasunde and Mecha on red hearts. So Shaloi and Zusi will come on for those two. Tempted to take Mealy off, but don't carry a goalkeeper on the bench. He's supposedly still on a 6.7 rating. I'm not too sure how. After that most recent effort in Santos Laguna, might be coming back into this. Hopefully we don't bottle it, but with 25 minutes to go, it is 3-2. 80 minutes gone, we're in possession, although we do give it away poorly there through Daniel Shaloi, I believe it was, and hopefully we don't bottle this because it would be a major bottle job after being 3-0 up early in this game. But Gurian plays the ball over to Pablo Ola, back for Pablo. Tight angle to try and put this in the back of the net. He finds a good angle there. I'm not too sure we can blame Melia too much for that one, and they have equalised, and that's really poor from us especially with what's on the line. If we don't win this game, I think our title chances are over. And Pablo, from a tight angle, we try and close him down, but still puts in a good area of the goal. Difficult for Melia to save that one, and it's all square with only 8 minutes to go. Heading into added time, and unfortunately, I don't think it's going to happen for us here in this game. We have absolutely bottled it, although we are in a good area of the pitch here, although Zusi just kicks that straight into a Santos Laguna player, so they will have a throw-in, but although it's actually given to us, I suppose, got my rules mixed up there, so it is a throw-in for us here with not much time to go, although we absolutely stuffed the throw-in up. It has gone out of play. I think this is going to be another throw-in to us, but a lot further from where we want to be. Zusi hopefully can find a teammate this time. Does seem to be struggling with these throw-ins a little bit. Finds Vandenberg. We play it short. Can we get a chance here? We can't. And unfortunately, I think that's our title hopes for this season over. We were the more dominant team, but we just let it slip after going 3-0 up. Really disappointed with the second goal we conceded. Amelia should have made a save at least, or at least attempted to there. But Santos Laguna, fair play of them. That's 2 draws they've got off us this season, and we've bottled that after being 3-0 up, ending up in a draw 3-3 against Santos Laguna. So back in the inbox after bottling that game, unfortunately, that feels like our title chance as well, and truly gone now. Makoko with fitness concerns as well. I think we'll just rest him for a few days. We haven't got too many games left for the rest of the season, and he has been absolutely integral to our late season form, albeit if we go to the schedule, you'll see if we make our way down to where we are currently, it is starting to get a little bit patchy, so I think that's what might cost us the title this season, as well as the poor start that we have. If we go back up a little bit further to right towards the start, we did get off to an absolutely terrible one. It has to be said that's really where we lost the title, but didn't think we'd be in a title race at that stage, so we've done pretty well to recover and end up where we are now. But unfortunately, if we have a look at the league table, we are now 8 points behind Flamengo, only a game in hand on them, and with 3 more games to go after that, I think it's going to be a bit too tough for us to try and come back and win the title this season. But hopefully we can do the job next season, at least earn our way up to the Premier League before we crack on with Football Manager 2022. But that will do for today's episode. A little bit of a disappointment, it has to be said. 2 draws, but we did win the game off camera, but really needed to keep winning games if we wanted to keep ourselves in the title hunt. As you can see, top goal scorer for the league this season. Joint at the moment. Might be able to take it out right soon, though. Yusufa Makoko, and as I said, only played his first league game for the club in February. So that's a phenomenal effort there from Makoko. But unfortunately, don't think that's going to help us win the league this time around. But that will do for today's episode. If you did enjoy it, remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video. And also, if you want to keep up to date with the channel and enjoy what you see, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. Tomorrow we'll come back and wrap the season up gameplay wise. We'll play probably the last 2 games of the season against Boca Juniors and Tigres, and we'll see what happens there. We might still be in the hunt. Probably not, though. We'll just play those last 2 games, and if good things happen, they happen. Maybe Makoko can break some mad record or something, because that's what he looks like he's on for at the moment. And then we'll come back the episode after that and do a proper end of season review and look through all the other leagues like we did in our first season. But until the next time I see you for that Boca Juniors Tigres double to finish the gameplay part of season 2 here of Blue Hell Worldwide, thank you very much for watching. Keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.
Sometimes you can